Joe Burrow is back. We're going to hear from number 9, why he was always coming back this season. Plus, Jamar Chase has some interesting points following his suspension and whole saga with Jalen Ramsey. That and much, much more right now on Enter the Jungle. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Enter the Jungle. I'm James Rapien. He's Andrew Fox Miller. Make sure you check us out every single Tuesday right here on the YouTube channel Cincinnati Bengals Talk Weekly on FanDuel Sports Network. We are, as always, brought to you by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/BigPlay today for a special offer that you'll hear later in the show. Also, of course, grab a garage beer. Grab a garage beer because, well, they make things better like 3 and 8. They make 3 and 8 it makes it feel a little bit better, a little bit more bearable. And you know what else is going to make 3 and 8 feel a bit more bearable, Andrew?
Oh, I wonder what.
Joe Burrow.
Oh.
Joe Burrow. You didn't know that was coming. Joe Burrow is back. And look, say what you want. Say what you want about the idea of bringing him back at 3 and 8. This was always happening. He was always coming back. He was always, from the moment he got hurt, was plotting his way back onto the field, and he will be on the field Thursday night in Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium on Thanksgiving. Here's Joe Burrow on why he was always going to return and how he views coming back from injury, even though the Bengals are 3 and 8 on the season.
I understand why people feel that way, but if you look at it from my perspective, I'm a football player, and if I get hurt, I'm going to go through the rehab process, and then I'm going to let everybody know when I feel like I can go out there and play. I don't really know what else to say about that. I'm not going to ever go to somebody and say, yeah, I'm healthy, but I don't think I should go out there and play. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm not going to live my life and play this game scared of something happening. Like, yeah, something's going to happen. It's football. Guys are going to get hurt. Guys are going to get concussions. You're going to break bones, tear ligaments. It's a physical, intense game. That's part of this. And yeah, I've had injuries. There's not a lot I can do about that. I work really hard to have that not happen, but what I can do is when it does happen, I can control how I'm attacking my rehab and attacking practice and doing everything in my power to get back as quickly as possible. That's what I did.
So Joe Burrow is back. He made it very, very clear that was always the plan. Your reaction to those comments?
I mean, I'll just say it for you, James, because you're not willing to do it. You're taking credit for this in some way, shape, or form. I just know it. I know it. How many weeks? Joe Burrow, he's grinding. He's coming back. He's going to make it happen. He's going to every week. I feel
have
like
I not
somewhere
said that?
in there.
I have said that though. I have said that.
I know. I feel like deep down, whether you realize it or not, you're wanting to take credit for this in some way.
I don't, but now that you mention it, I did say from the moment it happened, he always planned on returning this year. Did I not?
Oh, of course.
Wild. It's wild. Like that week, I was like, just so you know, Joe Burrow plans on coming back this year. Anyways, go ahead. Your reaction to those comments. Joe Burrow is going to be on the field. Should he be on the field 3 and 8? Do you blame him for feeling the way he does?
So 2 things. One, Burrow's words there. I don't think anyone that watches this team, is a fan of Joe Burrow, pays attention to what Joe Burrow says, is surprised by that comment. We said it in a number of different ways. He's a competitor. We could really simplify it. He's a football player. It's what he's here to do. I think I even said something along the lines of, it's what he's paid a lot of money to do. And he even mentioned that as well. So I don't know that anyone questions whether or not Joe Burrow is determined to get back on the field and do what he does best and what he loves. The other side of that, my second part of this would be, it comes back to the idea of, at what point does Joe, the football player, the passionate football player, have to be told, you had a good run, we're mathematically eliminated, Joe, no reason for you to risk yourself out there? Because people can talk all they want about, 8th pick in the draft, top 10 pick in the draft. We could get this guy or that guy. That's never a guarantee. You don't know that guy isn't going to rise or fall or even be available to physically get on the field come April of 2026. But what you do know is that if Joe Burrow is healthy and is able to take the field heading into 2026, you know what you're getting there. So it's a bit of a balancing act. I get it. All I know is I will be entertained any given week that he is going to be out on that field. And I know he's going to put his all into it. The question remains, though, of course, at what point do you step in and say, Joe, that's enough?
When Joe Burrow was cleared for practice a couple of weeks ago, and I put this on our YouTube channel, I literally made a graphic for it after tweeting it because I thought it should be out there. Someone texted me and said, Joe Burrow is a psycho. And it was the ultimate compliment. Like, this dude is just so football centric. And I heard Andrew Whitworth on the Up and Adams show earlier this week. FanDuel, by the way, FanDuel Sports Network. Yeah,
that's right.
Kay Adams, our coworker. Andrew Whitworth was on there, and he was like, yeah, obviously he's had a couple Bengals games this year. He's been in town. When he was in town, he visited Joe, and he was like, that dude, all he does is eat, sleep, and think about getting back on the field. And that was my point when all that Andrew Luck, and anytime Joe gets hurt, it's going to be Andrew Luck. And it's like, no, like, I think Andrew Luck at some point in his life figured out some perspective. Joe, the reason Joe Burrow is so great, I truly believe, and maybe he was wired like this when he was 5, maybe, but part of it is his internal wiring. And 2, he knows what it's like to not have football because he went to Ohio State and he was the star and he was going to be the next guy and he just never was. And so when you have that taken from you, you're going to do whatever it takes to stay on the field. And if that's rehab. And he's obviously had to do that in 3 of his 6 NFL seasons. He's also as tough as they come mentally and physically. So that's why, like, I've never had my doubts that Joe will find his way back. And not just this injury, just in general. Like, after the ACL, I was like, oh, well, Joe will be fine. It'll take a little time, but he'll be fine. And he's dealt with some serious stuff. The wrist was a little weird. The wrist was scary because it's his throwing wrist, right? But if he overcame that, he can overcome some turf toe. And it's going to be fun to see him out there. Here's what I wish, Andrew. I wish the Bengals would have either handled business in a few of these games or Zach Taylor would have given him a shot to beat the Patriots. Yep. Those are the 2 things. Because if let's say maybe both. They beat the Jets, which should have happened. It's the most ridiculous loss, one of the most ridiculous losses of the Zach Taylor era, to be quite honest, and certainly the worst loss of the season. If that happens, and then you give Joe Burrow a shot against New England, we might be talking about a team that has 5 wins right now and is 5-6 and is playing Baltimore for potentially a share of first place in the North. And that's what's so crazy about this is they're 1-8 without Joe Burrow. Of course they need him back. Of course he makes them better. All that stuff from a few weeks ago, it's nonsense. Of course he makes them better. But is it too little, too late? It feels like it is at 3-8. I don't blame him for wanting to be on the field, though.
Yeah, and you use the phrase too little, too late. That's the thing. It's too little, but it's still little. There's still something there. And I think that's what Burrow's thinking is, hey, I hope that's what he's thinking is, I want to do what I love doing. And again, until we're mathematically completely eliminated from this thing, I'm in. And it's possible he might have that same mentality when there's a 0% chance officially possible. But we don't even need to go there right now. The reality is football's fun when Joe Burrow's out there. And by the way, 1-8, it's crazy to think about because that offense was fun to watch plenty of times without Joe Burrow. And you could go through the Jets game, you can go through the Bears game, but it's crazy that so many of those games didn't result in a win. Nonetheless, you could be, look, Bengals fans, I hear it. Protect Joe, keep him off the field. I also hear the other side, hey, happy Joe Burrow's back. At the end of the day, sit here and think about every draft pick you want. Think about all the implications for 2026 all you want. Under the conditions right now, they're not completely eliminated. I know it's a long shot, but maybe just have some fun and watch the team that you love, watch the sport that you love, and Joe Burrow is going to make that better. Let's enjoy what we have while we have it. It's Thanksgiving after all, James.
Yeah, and we're going to hear from Joe Burrow on Thanksgiving in just a second. Before we do that, real quick, you mentioned running the table and the possibility, and that's being discussed.
Sure.
I was texting with someone that knows Joe well last week. And I was like, it was after, I think his first full practice, maybe his second, but I think his first full one, when I was really starting to wrap my head around, this dude really is going to do it. He's going to play against the Patriots, and that's it. And I was like, he thinks he's going to go 7-0 down the stretch, doesn't he? And they were like, oh yeah. Like he thinks he's going to come back, put on the cape. And by the way, if they went 7-0, they'd be guaranteed a playoff spot, 100%. There's really no scenario where they wouldn't have gotten a playoff spot. It's just, that's how he's wired. That's how he's built. So I do not blame him for wanting to take the field, for playing, especially against a division rival that they could dethrone. If they beat the Ravens 2 times this year, the Ravens probably aren't winning the division, and it would leave the door at least cracked for the Bengals. We're going to hear from Joe Burrow why he wants to play on Thanksgiving. Of course, Baltimore is part of it. Plus, we'll hear from Jamar Chase as well coming up next. What's up, everyone? Welcome into a special live edition of Enter the Jungle. That was just under 11 minutes, Andrew. How about that? We're off to a rocket start. Last week was 12:30 on our first segment, so a little better.
And then it was like going 1 and 8 with the, after that.
A little better. Nah, we'll be all right. But welcome in. Plenty to dive into. You're going to hear from Joe and Jamar. We'll get to the division odds that are certainly stacked against Joe Burrow and his chances of going 6-0 as a starter here down the stretch. Plus, I'm going to give a Bengals defender his flowers, and then we'll get to some of your questions on the back end. We have like 11 more minutes of recording. We're doing this for FanDuel Sports Network. We do it every week because Enter the Jungle airs here, and then it airs there as well. If you're new to the channel, well, that's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien. Grab a garage beer, go to FanDuel.com/bigplay and kick your feet up.
That's right. And by the way, I see the comments. I know it's hard to do when we're recording for FanDuel, but once we're finished, we'll definitely be doing some Q&A, have a little chat with everybody. I see the comments. I'm queuing them. We will be flashing those up, get James' take on various things. And I like the ones where James doesn't know what to say because it's something ridiculous too. And I'm storing those as well.
How do you know I won't know what to say?
You always know what to say, but it doesn't mean it's going to be. I like seeing you squirm is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I like seeing me squirm.
So,
you know what would have made me squirm is if Joe today was like,
oh boy,
hey, James, I was never playing Sunday. You're an idiot. And he didn't say that. So I feel good.
He did not say that. He did not say that.
I have those comments. We're not getting to them in the show because it's one of those things, but maybe we'll get to them after.
The closest he got to saying, and I don't mean to say that it was even in the realm, but the closest he got to saying anything against what you were trying to say about him playing against the Patriots was, this is what Zach said, and I agreed with it. I'm paraphrasing, but
sure. And that's a very smart way to go about it.
Yeah.
I think you went about it the right way. I also have thoughts for sure. And you never know. You never have all the details. You know, it's tough situation. It is what it is. They're 3-8. Did you mean to do that?
No, okay. I was queuing. So if you saw your comment flash up, I was marking it.
He was queuing. Uh-oh. All right.
People
get
want the Dan Flash's shirt back. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the Q&A. I got you.
Really expensive shirt. I don't even get the joke, but
you would think after all the time of me wearing that shirt, I'd just get you in on it, but
no,
it'd take like 2.5 minutes.
No, that's too much. Yeah. We'll too much time. It's way too much. All right, here we go.
Next segment. Here we go. Recording.
3, 2. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien, and Joe Burrow. Well, it's safe to say he's excited to play on Thanksgiving. This was a goal of his, clearly, to be back by Thanksgiving. Why? Well, let's let Joe tell the story.
Playing on Thanksgiving is something I've always wanted to do, that I pushed for in the past, and the NFL gave it to us. And then, the injury happened, and thought I wasn't going to be able to play. And then as we got closer, I, felt like it was a real possibility. So that's exciting to me. And it's a national stage to go out and prove yourself again after not playing for several weeks, and every opportunity that you get to go and prove all the hard work that you've put in, the type of player you are, is something that I try to take advantage of.
Joe Burrow obviously seems to always shine really bright on the national stage. Do you think it's almost too much though? It's going to be super like almost they're calling for a polar vortex in Baltimore on Thursday night. It is Thanksgiving, but it's going to be super cold. It's his first game back. He won't have any 11-on-11 full practices this week due to the short week, not because of his health. Your thoughts on that? Because I think it's a tough matchup. That's part of why I would have played him on Sunday against the Patriots, because I think it's a tough ask to go on the road, division rival, no full practices going into it, in a must-win scenario.
I mean, I haven't looked at the weather forecast yet. You bring up a good point. Are we talking precipitation, James?
It's going to feel like, no, I don't think so, but it's going to feel like 10 degrees.
I was going to say, because any excuse to, maybe lean on the run game a bit, something we probably could have done a bit more even against the Patriots. Ice up that toe while we're at it. I'm just saying.
What? No, don't ice it up. What are you talking about? No, Joe. Keep that thing flexible. He knows it. Don't take medical advice. That's one thing I will say. There's no way I would ever take weather advice or medical advice from Andrew Fox Miller. Those are two things I wouldn't do. Camera advice, how lighting goes, and different things like that. Oh yeah, microphones, sound checks, sure. Weather and health, there is no way, my man. Sorry.
I don't know where the weather thing is coming from, by the way. I mean, medical, sure. I mean, everyone knows that. It's one of the things I introduced myself. I'm Andrew Fox. I'm not a doctor. That's one of my go-to elevator pitches about myself. But weather?
Not a meteorologist either.
No, I'm not.
Not a meteorologist. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to out you.
Don't get into it. Weird, cryptic.
I'll just leave it there. Leave it there. Speaking of leaving it there, Jamar Chase certainly wanted to leave Spitgate and what happened, his suspension behind. I thought he had some interesting comments, Andrew, about the situation, his mindset, how people may view him after that suspension. Here's Jamar on Tuesday.
At the end of the day, I don't really have nothing to prove of who I am. I mean, either you like me or you don't. I could care less. I'm still going to go for it. At the end of the day, I got kids. I got people to take care of, so I could really care less. So I'm going out there, be the same player I am, you know what I'm saying, and play football. At the end of the day, ain't nobody going to stop me from who I am.
Do you think opponents are going to try to bait you into more of that moving forward?
They already do it. They've been doing it. It ain't nothing new. At the end of the day, I mean, like I said, it's a lot. It's stuff that you're going to allow and stuff that you're not going to allow. It's a limit to everything.
You said there's stuff you'll allow, stuff you won't allow. I assume Jalen did something that you won't allow?
I'm sure. It's probably something like that.
Care to disclose what he did?
Of course not.
Is it verbal or physical?
Jamar Chase shaking his head. I like that. I respect it. I also think that Jalen Ramsey is number one on maybe the Bengals' most hated list, but certainly Jamar Chase's. I don't blame him, by the way, for saying I'm not changing who I am. I don't think he should. Like, I'm not sure anyone would be asking him to do that if he punched Jalen Ramsey 4 times. I wouldn't. And so, yeah, did he make a mistake? Absolutely. I don't need him to change who he is 5 years into the league.
Yeah, I think we'll look back on this, whether or not Jalen Ramsey's still in the league and however many more matchups those two are going to have.
Washed Ramsey. Go.
I kind of hope they just trot him out there, even not at 100%, because as much as I don't want Jamar, of course, getting suspended, it is interesting to see how certain players handle themselves against it. We mentioned it. AJ Green, you got him to freak out on. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yep.
I think Jamar learned a lesson here. I think he's being authentic in what he has to say. And by the way, not to get us out in the weeds on this, I saw people commenting on his apology that he had publicly put out there. I thought it was fine, but people were saying, hey, it was clearly, I think, kind of being joking about it, but like, this was written by ChatGPT, this and that. I will tell you, James, big reveal here. I ran it 100% human according to the AI checker that I use. And I've used this on a number of things, and I know what's AI and what's not, and tested it. It's been fairly accurate. So there you go.
Jamar Chase got fined because of the suspension over $500,000. You're telling me he can't have a PR firm right there help him with the apology? Of course he can't proofread it. He doesn't need ChatGPT. The internet is ridiculous sometimes. And doubt Joe and Jamar at your own risk. I always say it. I will still say it. Even if it's 3-8, 3-12, doesn't matter. Those dudes are ballers for a reason. Up next, we'll look at the odds. The really tall Mount Everest-sized odds, courtesy of FanDuel in the AFC North. We'll do that coming up next. All righty. So we're at nearly 16 minutes total, Andrew. So
That's
these
good.
will be fast. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. Hey, everyone, we'll get to your questions in a few minutes here. We're going to speed through these 2 segments, 6 minutes total of recording time. So the faster we get to them, the faster we can get to your questions and the faster we can crack open a garage beer. I didn't bring one in. So I gotta go get it. But
Hey,
you ready?
The kids are on break for the week. Maybe I'll have one of them go grab me one, bring it to me.
Yeah. Or 4.
Yeah.
4 after I reveal your weather BS. All right. You have no idea what I'm talking about. And
I have no clue.
That's great. All right. Ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. So 6 minutes, reset. Ooh. Cool. I'm going to put this here. My bad. This is what we do when we're live. All right. Counting down in 3. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. I'm James Rapien. He's Andrew Fox Miller. And it's time to look at the odds for the AFC North. We'll do that in just a second, courtesy of FanDuel. And whether it's the NFL or the NBA, obviously it's a huge time in professional sports. And that's why you got to get to America's #1 sports book. FanDuel is the spot you need to go, where right now new customers get $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So maybe you think that the Bengals are going to handle business on Thursday night against the Ravens, or you think that Joe Burrow is going to throw for a bunch of yards. That's the beauty of FanDuel. You can get all the props, all the odds. You can live bet all in one place. And right now, like I said, if you go to FanDuel.com/bigplay and sign up today, you'll get $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. You must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, Andrew, the Bengals odds, well, of course, they continued to drop. 2 weeks ago when Joe Burrow was potentially in the mix and was activated, cleared to practice, they went down to 1,100. Then they lose to the Steelers, plus 3,300. Now plus 4,000. This is rough time. Everyone thinks the Ravens are going to win the division. That's why Thursday's game is so big. The Steelers right behind them. And then a long distance away is the Bengals.
Yeah, I think the jump isn't as severe as you might think, but I think that's a decent reflection of the fact that while they really needed to win this game, they also didn't really need to win this game. So therefore, you're not looking like the Cleveland Browns right now with, 33,000, or where are we at with it? 30,000 plus 30,000. So by the way, real quick, James, are there any prop bets on whether or not the Bengals offense gets a delay of game penalty because they tried to force an offsides penalty with a hard count on 4-1? You think, is there a prop bet on that, FanDuel? I'll throw it out there as a suggestion. I'd be curious on that one. Would you take it? I don't know.
Yeah. Would you take it? You might be able to. Look, if you do believe at all and you want the long shot bet, now's the time to bet on the Bengals. And here's why. Because the Steelers play the Bills. Obviously, the Bengals would have to win this week to win the division and beat the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers and Ravens play next week. These are probably the best odds if the Bengals go on a run that you're going to get for quite some time. So it's 4,000. It's probably not going to happen. But if you want to leave that door cracked, if you believe, well, go to FanDuel.com/bigplay today. Up next, it's time to give out some flowers. And no, it's not Valentine's Day. It's November. We'll do that coming up next. Man, I'm not giving you flowers. What's wrong with you? Ready?
Zay Flowers?
No comment.
Speaking of DBs,
trying to get me in trouble. We have a quick segment here, and then we'll get to your questions, everyone.
Yep.
Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. I'm James Rapien. He's Andrew Fox Miller, and it's time to give out some flowers.
Mm.
That's right. Bengals safety Geno Stone. I've been as critical as anyone of Geno Stone and his play this year, their decision to keep him. I wouldn't have kept him, but he balled out against the Patriots, had the pick six, had a huge tackle for loss in part of a Bengals goal line stand, keeping the Patriots out of the end zone, 13 tackles, a pass breakup. Geno Stone, I love the aggression. I need more of it. Keep it up. It's Stone season. Revenge game this week against the Ravens. We'll see if he keeps it going.
More than we could have hoped for. I don't know about you, James. Actually, I do know about you, I should say. We just wanted tackles to happen. Could we just fundamentally
tackle,
wrap people
just
up,
tackles.
Get people in the ground, tackle them, tackle. We got more than that, and I'm very pleased with it. I was at the game, and I can tell you that stop was the deafening the crowd that was there, and there were a lot of Patriots fans at that game. It was chaos because everyone was so pumped up from that play. Geno Stone, love that you learn, presumably, watch a Cincinnati Bengals talk on YouTube. We can jump to that conclusion naturally. I don't know that it needed to be said, but I'll throw it out there.
Yeah, I think the thing that I liked most about Geno, in the pick six was awesome. Drake threw it to him, but it was a great return to get into the end zone. The thing I liked most wasn't that it wasn't even the goal line stop, even those were the biggest impact plays. I noticed it early, just how aggressive he was. He threw a guy down and you could just see like he was frustrated. He couldn't believe, like he played with a chip on his shoulder. And I think it's because he heard the criticism. And guess what? Good. Like someone said, oh, well, Geno heard you. And I was like, good. Like play like this every week. Yes. Show everyone that you have this chip on your shoulder. That's how you should do it. And if you play that way and you give up a big play in the passing game, or you do get stiff armed into the turf, and Darnell Washington, if you go at him with all your effort, breaks that tackle, we can live with that. I think everyone understands that's going to happen. Misplays, mess ups, bad throws, drops, like all those things happen, miss blocks, but we need to see the effort. And I thought the effort was there. And I think he deserves, there's a reason why we're talking about him right now. If you're going to rip them, praise them when they deserve praise. And they do. Now you got to do it again on Thursday night against the Ravens. It's a must win. It's a game that obviously we're going to have you covered right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Any last words for Geno Stone?
I mean, I was starting to come up with an idea of, do I come up with a challenge where I have to get a Geno Stone jersey if he does XYZ, but we don't have enough time for this segment. So,
if you sack Lamar Jackson and intercept him on Thanksgiving, I will help fund a Geno Stone jersey for Andrew. So we will see if that happens. Or
we'll give it to a subscriber on Cincinnati Bengals. So we'll figure it out.
Oh, look at you. Look at you just trying to. He's like, hey, James, how about you get 12 Geno Stone jerseys?
And Geno Stone stays afterwards to talk to reporters because I want to hear his take when he's all fired up. I didn't get that this week.
Oh, no, he just didn't talk to – I was in on Flacco. Anyways, all right, that's all. He did talk to reporters.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Enter the Jungle on the YouTube channel, Cincinnati Bengals Talk and FanDuel Sports Network. Threw you off there, baby.
Yeah, you did.
Threw you off there, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. You were like, he did the salute.
You did a whole, like you did 8. It was like the Return of the King at Lord of the Rings, just with your 8 different endings of that one.
Hey,
Let's see here.
I'm just
a little shout out here, by the way. Michael, appreciate that. Thank you.
What's the last part? I don't get it, but Michael, I appreciate you.
Yikes.
What's that from?
It's a Home Alone reference.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dude, I haven't seen Home Alone since last Christmas. It's been a while.
That's right. It's queued up every year. We'll be watching.
I literally heard it though. Buzz's girlfriend. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Shout out Joe Burrow or Macaulay Culkin or whoever. You think Joe Burrow watches Home Alone every year?
I don't know. I don't know what he's sitting around watching, to be honest with you. Never mind Home Alone. I mean, I get the Macaulay Culkin connection.
I don't think I would in the era of life that he's in. I don't think I would do that. Unless whoever came over to hang out wanted to watch it. And that's what I'll say. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Piano videos, Landon says it. Right. I'm sure.
Some. For sure. All right, let's dive into some of these Q&A here.
Yeah. So let's go with got a lot of shout outs here. I'm going to get to something more.
Some shout outs. Wow. It's
I've
Thanksgiving.
seen a lot of Trey Hendrickson. This is a good place to start really quick because
Oh boy.
I think not only are people clearly noticing the void, but like the extent of which it is continuing.
Yeah, it sucks. They should have put him on injured reserve, clearly. Not having him, I don't want to speculate. I don't know. I've tried to get some answers. Zach Taylor doesn't really want to talk about it. Trey hasn't talked since right before the trade deadline. We haven't seen Trey play since before the trade deadline. I know people are going to jump to conclusions. I can't definitively say that. I do think it looks that way, and I hate it. I hate it for Trey because I know he loves to be out there. And I hope that isn't it. I really do. I also understand everything that goes into it. And so it sucks all around. You know, if you're Trey, the reality is they are 3-8, right? And if you're not right, if you do need surgery, which has been speculated about, should you get the surgery or should you try to play through it? Or are you even healthy enough to play through it? Zach Taylor says no, by the way, that it's a health thing. So we'll see. But without Trey, obviously Myles Murphy needs to continue to do what he's done. In the past couple of weeks, I think Myles Murphy has been disruptive. He's looked like a guy. In like, that is important. Now, what does that mean? I'm not saying he's going to be a Pro Bowler, but he looks like a guy that's going to matter. And so it needs to be consistent. It's just like Geno Stone, right? Praise him for one game. Well, anybody can go out there and do one game. I told Myles that last week, by the way, in the locker room. I was like, man, killed it. You killed it. You got to go do it again. This has got to be your coming out party. This can't be your, remember that one game where Myles Murphy, and we'll see. Obviously, I'm talking about the Steelers game. He played really well against the Steelers. Not as good against the Patriots, but still well. Wasn't as impactful, but still you noticed him. You need to notice 99 each and every week. And obviously Thursday's a huge game. Going up against a hobbled Lamar Jackson, by the way. Certainly a storyline going into that one. You're muted. Look at you, amateur. He still doesn't even know he's muted. Look at him. He still doesn't know he's muted.
Speaking of Shamar, speaking of Trey Hendrickson, speaking of Myles Murphy, Shamar Stewart, comment here. Is he also done? I assume we mean done for the season.
Oh, I mean, I didn't say Trey was done for the season. I hope he's not. I don't think Shamar is done for the season. We'll see. He's been around the locker room. I think that's a good sign. And hopefully they can get him back. I think it would be really big when you look at the grand scheme of things, throw out record, throw out all those things. If Shamar Stewart can get on the field again this year and be productive down the stretch, that is a huge boost to how the Bengals feel. He's trending, but how he feels, his confidence, his ability, all of those things. The last thing you want, this happened to my guy, John Ross, is he didn't have a catch his rookie year, got shut down real quick. And it's like, he went out his whole rookie year, didn't have a catch. It was like, well, yeah, he was shut down. And so if Shamar Stewart doesn't have any sacks and that's hanging over his head and you hear all that, it would just be really annoying. So it'd be nice to see him out there, get some production and go into the offseason on a high note. Worst case, if the Bengals do continue to trend in the direction they're trending.
Going on a few more questions, comments here. How about we already talked about Trey Hendrickson, talked about Shamar Stewart. McKinley Landon chimes in on McKinley Jackson earning playing time over TJ Slayton is the question here. He's flashed some the last couple of weeks. What's your observation on that, James?
No. I think they complement each other well. I think McKinley has been, you're right, he's been disruptive. He made an impact. He made some multiple plays. TJ Slayton has still been steady. And what I think is interesting is now that McKinley's starting to flash a little bit, Chris Jenkins has had multiple plays. You need some consistency out of that unit. And we'll see if you get it, right? That's it. Is like if Myles Murphy for the rest of the year is just awesome, you're like, for half a season, he was really good. And you can buy into that. If it's just a flash here and a flash there, it's not enough. And so for McKinley Jackson, that's it, is being consistent now over the final 6 games and beyond, if there is a beyond. Obviously, we don't think so at this point.
Speaking of Flash, yes, someone did say we need the Dan Flash's shirt back for good luck. I
I
always
don't
have
know,
looked
man.
at it as a bit of a, you know what? You're right. You're right. I do need to bring that. Maybe that we're going to find time for that. Maybe a
Don't
member
change-
stream. We'll do
Yeah.
something with the Dan
Well,
Flashes.
you always say the member stream. We'll do a member stream soon. It was weird with Burrow last week, man.
Burrow
members
wore,
got
by the
plenty.
way, a sweatshirt with the Dan Flash's shirt on it. It went over people's heads, but everyone would be going nuts about it
Today?
right now. No, this is a couple years ago.
There you go. Burrow wear all that stuff. That's what I mean. He's probably wearing. Is that so? That's from I Think You Should Leave, and you just haven't
Yeah.
showed it.
Mhm.
Okay, you just haven't showed it to me. That's fine.
I think it's actually on YouTube. I'll send it your way.
I got to learn how to make money on this.
The driving crooner.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's my
This
favorite.
is a good one, Dan. Man, I've been seeing a lot of Dan comments too. But if Burton isn't active Thursday, what is the point of even having him on the roster for another week? Let's open up Jermaine Burton discussion here, because I do think a lot of people ask about him. I think those questions are getting less loud over time, the more he doesn't get added to active roster for the game.
Zach Taylor was asked about him yesterday, on Monday.
Yeah.
And Zach was like, well, we had Mike Gesicki.
Yep.
And we felt good about that. Like, nothing on Jermaine.
Yeah.
Which says a lot to me without saying anything.
Yeah.
1, 2, I don't think I got to do it here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I threw this out there, I don't know, a month ago about Tyler Lockett before he got scooped up. I think he went to the Raiders. Wherever he went. But after the Titans let him go. And I was like, if you don't believe in Jermaine Burton, go get somebody that you believe in that you could put in a game. And people are like, you are just insane, always talking receivers. And it's like, no, like for this situation, like if you truly don't believe in Jermaine Burton and you need a receiver, well, then what the hell is he doing on the roster? And it's a really good point now, because this 5-day stretch should be Jermaine Burton. I'm going to compliment T. Higgins really well by being this vertical deep threat and being a guy that demands coverage. And then I can open things up for Andre and Mike Gesicki and Mitch Tinsley and all of these guys. It obviously didn't happen. They didn't trust him to do it. We'll see on Thursday in Baltimore on the road. Seems kind of unlikely at this point. And if that's the case, well, then get someone that you believe in enough to put out there. And that's it. And, I think because he's a 3rd-round pick, he was the 80th overall selection. You have so much invested in him. Sometimes you hang around and you get another opportunity or two than you should. But this has been a nightmare. It's been a disaster. And it was a huge risk at the time. I understood it. Like the football logic makes sense. The Bengals looked at it and they said, hey, this guy has the physical ability to play in the slot and play outside, be a deep threat. Like if he hits his ceiling, he can be a wide receiver 2 in the NFL behind Jamar Chase and be really good. Like I think that was their logic. He's not just slot. He's not outside. He can be everything. And he just hasn't got it. He hasn't gotten the playbook. He hasn't gotten the work ethic. He hasn't gotten any of it. And if he had, of course the Bengals would want to play him. That's the thing. Is like, why would the Bengals hold this grudge against them so much so that Mitch Tinsley is getting reps over him? And I love Mitch, and he's earned them now. But come on, he's a 3rd-round pick. Like if Jermaine Burton had Mitch Tinsley's work ethic, he'd probably be a damn Pro Bowler. There you go. You got me going.
I mean,
Got me going.
I get it's I can't get past the. Never mind the Mike Gesicki acting as a receiver and all. I get it.
Sure.
But I always like to see where maybe they run in, it's hindsight and all, but when you run into a situation where there was a very, very strong, I don't want to say, there was a very real possibility that they would have had to finish that game against the Patriots.
Yep.
With 2 wide receivers.
Yep. It's unacceptable.
It's especially unacceptable if we continue on without doing something about it. You call it lesson learned, whatever, but that's what I'm looking for is, well, now you've run into this problem. What are you going to do about it? Because you can't run into that again. That can't happen.
Do you think they called on Brandon Cooks? He's signed with the Bills today, but do you think they did?
I know. Was there any conversation?
Zach was in Los Angeles with Cooks in 2018. Just to
And after that game where you're down to 2 wide receivers, if you hadn't at that point, up to that point, are you Zach going, hey, by the way, didn't anyone look into this? Anyone want to call up his agent?
He was their quarterback's coach. So in 17, he was their assistant wide receivers coach. In 18, he was their quarterback's coach. So, but yeah, just throwing that out there because like you're also 3-8 and I get it, the Bills. Like,
right.
So you probably lose that battle. I just don't even think they had that conversation. And that's what's weird is like buckle up because everyone's going to be focused on the defense and all of those things. Look at it like Charlie Jones contract year, Jermaine Burton probably cut, Andre Yosevich contract year, Mitch Tinsley, you have him, but you have T, you have Jamar, Mitch, and like it's a lot of uncertainty. Like adding a receiver in that room it's going to need to happen, and it's because you whiffed on Jermaine Burton. If you hadn't whiffed on him, you'd be loaded on loaded. I mean, you'd be 4.5, 5 deep at receiver every week. And yeah, it is what it is right now because of the depth there, the lack of depth. Like they have more guard depth than they do wide receiver depth potentially.
Yep.
Which is weird.
Yeah, like would we have thought that like in June or July? Because
if they lose two, like T and Jamar, like let's just say they don't have those guys. How does it work? How does this offense function? Now with Joe Burrow, it would be different, but with Joe Flacco, it would not function. Just to give you an idea. By the way, not to toot our own horn, but 2 weeks ago when I was at the beach and Joe Burrow was activated and everyone was like, what's he going to do? Do we still feel that way? I'm just throwing that out there. And I'm not trying to dunk on Joe Flacco at all because he's been awesome.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Yeah. Look, the offense is fine, James. Yeah. The guys, the offense is doing fine.
Yeah. I'm still getting that. It's all the defense. Like, have you watched? They've scored 25 points on offense in 2 games.
I think there is some truth somewhere in the middle in that that offense could have won games if it wasn't for that defense. Joe Burrow on that offense maybe could have won some games, probably would have won more games than this offense with Joe Flacco. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I understand where they're coming from.
Oh yeah, they're flawed. Yeah, the defense is stunk. Cost him against the Jets. Guess what? Yeah. I still think Joe Burrow gets points on one of those final 2 drives against the Jets. Joe Flacco didn't, and he got hurt. The Bears game, do they need to score 15 points in the final 3 minutes with Joe Burrow, or would they have been in more control of it? Like, you just don't know. So whatever, but Joe Burrow makes them better. It's just, that was such silly season. Like, that's a real thing. Like that we had, like, can you imagine if I told you in week 1, there were going to be Bengals fans that said, hey, Joe Burrow isn't going to matter because Joe Flacco's at quarterback and the defense stinks. Like, just saying it out loud is insane.
And I'll spin that a bit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
people are going to be
the
so
defense
mad
is that
at
bad?
it.
No, can you imagine that the defense is that bad?
Yeah.
That you've got the
That
fan
people
base
feel that
thinking
way?
that. You know what I mean?
It's
like
true.
It's
true.
that bad that they're like questioning, like, do we even need Joe Burrow? Like, cause like, this is so bad. Like, what's the point? Yeah. So,
and that's why I wanted to praise Geno Stone too. Like, they've gone through it.
Yeah.
Like early in the year, the offensive line was going through it. Like, Joe Burrow got hurt. The whole city was pissed at them and they couldn't protect, and Jake Browning was awful. And so people got madder and madder and madder at the offensive line. And it was like they were the villain. And guess what the offensive line did? They put their head down and they worked hard and they got better.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
It's worked. They've been pretty good.
Yeah.
They've been a pretty good offensive line. And the reputation may not say, or the perception, may not be that yet. Who cares? Who cares what the perception is? Are you keeping the quarterback safe? And for the most part, they did that during the Joe Flacco era. Obviously, they're running the ball much, much better. And so that's what this defense needs to do. And hopefully Geno Stone, hopefully that's him turning over a new leaf. Barrett Carter, by the way, 16 tackles, no missed tackles the other day. So good on Barrett Carter.
We've got a number of comments here. I'm trying to, I see some T chatter. So, you know, how we've got a question of how long is T out minimum? You know, what are where do you stand on what you've seen, what you've heard with T?
I don't think T was in the building today. I don't know that for sure. I didn't see him, and I'm led to believe he wasn't in the building, which is fine. Obviously, he's out this week. It's one of those things where honestly, you try to get him as much rest as possible. I'm sure his goal is to play against Buffalo. And you just want what's best for the player outside looking in. So I haven't asked. Maybe that makes me bad at my job. I haven't asked, outside of asking how he is as a human. And I do think he's okay right now and going through it and in concussion protocol. But no, I haven't asked like, hey, is the goal Buffalo? Outside looking in, I would assume it's Buffalo. I knew the moment he was on the ground like that, like, yeah, he's not playing Thursday. Right. And so, yeah, I would imagine it's Buffalo, but I haven't asked about his actual status from a football standpoint, more of a well-being. And I do think he's doing okay, as okay as can be considering how scary it was.
Yeah, because we could sit here and talk all we want about Burrow and this sort of insanity that he's coming back on something that should have been, for a lot of people, medical professionals' opinions, minimum 12 weeks. Here he is 2 months later, essentially getting back onto the field. But with T, I mean, as we know, concussions are just a completely different animal. I mean, there's just no way. Like, you could feel healthy. Doesn't mean that you're in a state where you should be getting back on the field. So you do what you got to do.
We'll see. I mean, I think we'll see him back, and hopefully he is healthy when he does get back. And I'm sure he's going to want to get back so he could catch passes from Joey B. He was excited last week. I think deep down T thought Joe Burrow was going to play.
Yeah.
And I know I did. I know I did. And I think Joe deep down thought he was going to as well.
This James really wants to know about Antoine Powell-Ryland and why he's not out there. Linebacker, I haven't followed him a ton. What do you got?
Well, he edge rusher. I mean,
edge rusher.
He's listed as a linebacker.
That's right.
Outside linebacker, obviously pressure the quarterback. You might see him this week. You might. Would not shock me at all if you see him. He's just new. You want him to get comfortable with the defense. Obviously, Isaiah Foskey's been here since September, and so he was well ahead of Powell-Ryland. But yeah, you talk about a guy who had a ton of college production, is someone that makes sense to add to the roster. They did it, or add to the practice squad, get in the building. They did it when he was released. And so we'll see. But certainly someone that I liked adding, and wouldn't shock me this week if things go right, could see him active.
Speaking of defense, I see it time and time again.
Come on.
Downs. Yeah, listen. I'm not going to get into drafts, but this is my point, by the way, James. We're in November, and I have no issue with people excited about the draft, excited about adding to this team. No issue at all.
Yeah.
But for people to sit there and go, oh, but if we're in this range, we can get this player, whether it's Caleb Downs or anybody.
Caleb Downs might go
this
second
player's
overall.
going to be there. There's no guarantee they're going to be healthy. It's just as non-guaranteed as Burrow being healthy out in the field, the thing that you fear. But you do know that you definitely need Joe Burrow. You definitely need Jamar Chase. The things like that. Those are the assurances. I don't know. I struggle with people getting excited, and I'm not saying that William House here is doing that, but I struggle when people get excited about the draft pick that they're going to get in April when it's the month of November or even December, because it changes so much.
Sure. No, I get it. I also think that's part of the 24/7 element of it, 365. I'm with you though. Like, I haven't done any draft anything.
Right.
And I won't. I mean, most of the time I go to the combine and I'm just starting to learn these guys.
Yeah.
And I found during my process that makes the most sense, because the goal is draft week to know your stuff and have an idea of who the Bengals are going to take, who they should take, who I like, who I think the Bengals like, and go from there. And usually I would say for the most part over the past 5 years, and even really dating back to before Cincinnati Bengals Talk or even Locked On Bengals or BengalsTalk.com existed, like, we've done that. And that's always the goal. So you could do that. Like, there's been some years where you could do it for 4 months. I get exhausted by it. And so I really immerse myself into free agency and in those things, as you know. And spoiler, the Bengals better be so active in free agency this year. And we're going to have plenty of feet, fire. Y'all better be ready to spend. Throw another couple sponsors on the side of Paycor, because you're going to have to get that cash out.
I want to almost like make a mental or literal timestamp on this exact moment of this live, because I might have to clip it and use it on a future episode come February, for sure March, obviously, where I want to capture this in a bottle week to week, how angry we've become about how little was done in free agency of this past off season.
It better not be little.
And I know we're going to know that come as we start talking about it in February, March, and probably even maybe January. But I don't know that the anger is just going to be as potent as it is mid-season, that you're dealing with the pain and the fallout of a season that is not completely out of reach, but it very much is close to it. And once it's done, you start to think of other things. And yes, you want free agents, but the anger, you start to lose a little edge about it at times. I don't want to lose that. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this as much as I can. By the way, CWT Houday, as I actually saved this question about a half hour ago, but he asked it again. So and that's totally fine. And it helps remind me. But do you think that the defense has played better because they know Joe Burrow is coming back? Same thing happened with Baltimore. I bring this up because I think it was something that I had even kind of alluded to last week, where it was whether or not you were playing Joe Burrow and sort of the overall idea of just like, hey, what message does it send the team if you don't play him and you're not mathematically eliminated? Obviously, they're following through with bringing him out in the field, but nonetheless, do you think that the defense is playing with some sort of edge or chip on their shoulder, we'll call it, whatever we want to call it, because they see, we'll call it the path, but they see that Joe Burrow is returning, and it adds a different dynamic.
You would have thought that Flacco would have done that, right?
Yes.
Especially with the way Joe played in the second half of that Green Bay game and then just kind of moving forward. You would have thought that. And the defense did make some plays that 4 days later against the Steelers, and it felt like they were going to, and then they just had that awful fourth quarter against the Jets. And so, yeah, I do think it gives you a little bit more something. And here's the other thing that any of the all 90 guys and then the entire coaching staff and honestly ownership too, when you have Joe who's busted his tail, he didn't have to. Like, he could have went through rehab, realized they sucked, and been like, you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna slow this down. I'm not gonna put myself through the pain, through the grind, through the mental anguish. He could have dialed it back a little bit and still been recovering. No one would have known. I don't think they would have been like, oh man, Joe is. No, he does this superhuman effort to get back. You don't help him at all because you've only won one game. A lot of that is the defense, not all of it, but a lot of it. A lot of it's Jake Browning. Some of it recently has been the offense. And you mix it all together. And I mean, everybody in that building should feel an obligation to play with their hair on fire each and every week because of what Joe did to get back. And I'm not saying most guys wouldn't do that. A lot of guys do that. But when your franchise is doing that, it does help set a tone. So yes, I do think it matters. Now, if you're bad, you're still going to be bad. But the effort better be there. Put it that way.
Yeah. I'm sure there are individual players that are seeing what's going on. And it's not just Burrow. Everybody's going through. There's a number of players that are going through something. But when you see somebody that's gutting it out and doing what they're doing to get back on the field, well, you've been on the field all season. And if you're not putting in the work and putting anything good on tape, you might be reevaluating some things. And maybe you don't think about it that directly as a player, but I'm sure there are some that it sinks in. They're thinking about it, maybe if it isn't directly or literally. I've got a lot of fun ones here. There's some good comments, some good questions. We'll kind of rapid fire here towards the end that are some Bengals related, some not. We could also talk a little Thanksgiving, but we'll keep it as Bengals centric.
Let's rapid fire it here a bit.
Yeah. So
I didn't think there was any chance you would run me into 7:45. I have another thing at 7:45.
Any chance?
I didn't think there's any chance, brother.
We're not going to run into 7:45. You'll be okay. By the way, we need someone in the team who thinks like it. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Not if he's judging weather or health.
The weather thing is, Okay. I don't know where that's coming from.
Oh, dude, I do. It's unbelievable, the weather thing.
Cross out. Happy Turkey Day, guys. Favorite foods to eat on the holiday. I want the chat firing off on some of that because I'll flash some of that up. By the way,
Pie.
Oh, really?
You don't like pie?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just not the first thing I would have thought about.
Yeah, that's the first thing. Pie. The pie at the end.
Like what kind?
Pumpkin pie. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's about the only time of year I eat
pecan
it. So
pie. Yes. A good pecan pie is elite, man. Woo-wee.
Hey,
You've been to Buc-ee's when we drove to the beach because we drove. You stop by Buc-ee's, you get some of those hot pecans. I don't know. They have it's this bag of pecan. I forget what flavor. It was like cinnamon. Oh my God. They were so good. Drove overnight, had 2 bags on the way down, man. Whoo-wee. There you go. The hot pecans at Buc-ee's.
By the way, Magic Pike Magnificent says cooked raven. Fried, even more. James would eat that as a pie, apparently. So
anything fried is pretty good. Let's be real. Other favorite foods, though, let's be real here. Like, everything's good. Like, if you get a moist turkey, also, you wouldn't have seen this. Eddie George described how he cooks his turkey, and it's like a 5-day process, like the former Titans running back. He's now Bowling Green's head coach. This dude, I'm going to Eddie George's house next Thanksgiving, and I'm just going to show up. It takes like 5 days. Like, he's been working on this thing since like Sunday. And it's like, sits here for 3 days, and then I put it here, and then I wrap it up and all the man, oh man, like 5 days. That's a long time. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
So no, I know that. You didn't even I didn't even know what the rundown of this episode was until 15 minutes before it started.
I tell people, especially this football season, how day to day I am. You can attest. I'm very day to day.
Oh,
I'm very day to day. I give you a heads up on your stuff because the weatherman can't handle it. He can't handle the storms.
For your standards, it is a heads up compared to most. I'm sure that you give people.
But yeah.
Thanksgiving, I see people chiming in on this. By the way, green bean casserole. That's actually
good.
Really good. I'm surprised you say good. I feel like it's underappreciated by many. Landon's claiming he's got this amazing mac and cheese recipe.
Hey, Landon, don't be talking all that if you're not going to bring me something.
Yeah. What is it, James? I think we've established James won't put in the work, but he will show up.
It's exactly right. I'm not cooking, but I'll. You do it. I'll put it down now. A little mac and cheese,
glazed almonds from Buc-ee's.
Glazed almonds. That's what they are. Yeah. I've had glazed almonds and the pecan.
This apple crumb pie. It's funny that Christopher Ward brings this up. I got up this morning, drove with the kids, went and picked that up today. It's not even like my favorite thing, but I was told I had to try this bakery. I don't care. I don't care. I'll mention them. It's that Bluebird in Glendale. Apparently everybody says it's amazing. So that's what I got.
I've heard of the Bluebird Bakery.
Yeah.
You got it? Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't. I'm not busting it. It's Thursday, man. Thanksgiving.
Guess where I'm going. No, I'll come eat some right now. Thanksgiving. Thursday.
I'll bring you a slice maybe Saturday or Sunday whenever we're talking about linking up. We'll see.
Yeah. You don't need to save me a piece of pie.
I've got some other things here. Man, everyone's making me hungry. These comments are insane.
Yeah, I haven't eaten today, brother.
Why did you bring that up? I'm just throwing some shout outs while I'm reading.
Yeah, there we go, Ronnie. Appreciate you. Hey, the fox emoji is fire though. That's a pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm tossing in a quick Bengals topic because we got
doesn't matter. He's still better than Joe Flacco. Doesn't matter.
He needs to get several games to get in a rhythm. Here's the thing, and this is what I get concerned about with this team. You have a run game that seems to be getting into, if not in a rhythm. And I don't want, and I saw the questions that were asked to, I think it was to Zach. I don't think it was to Joe, or maybe it was. There was a question about, hey, what do you anticipate with sort of the game plan changing quarterbacks in this case? We're going back to Joe Burrow. And the answer was not much will really change. So if that's the case, I shouldn't see this run game start to struggle unless it's just like, I guess from a game plan, even from a scheme standpoint, I shouldn't see that. But it just feels like things shift. They change for no real reason when Joe Burrow is either not at quarterback or when he is. I don't know.
No, they need to lean on the run. Like if they're running for 5 yards a clip against Baltimore. Feed Chase Brown. He's had 5 straight games now with 100+ yards from scrimmage. Get to 6 would be a Bengals record. Make it happen. All right,
Cripples,
rapid
mac
fire.
and cheese,
Let's go.
get out of here. No.
Oh, that sounds
that's-
amazing.
That'd be the whole conversation piece at the table. We don't even talking
Oof.
about anything else.
Ooh, you know what I would do? I would do some Grippo's mac and cheese with some ham.
Ham.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
ruin mac and cheese with ham. I love ham, but like, come on.
No, not in the mac and cheese. Like
Oh.
have ham.
Oh, I
like,
see, I
I'm
see.
talking
I
at
got
dinner.
you.
You have ham, Grippo's mac and cheese. I feel like it will complement each other very, very well. You get some au gratin potatoes in there as well. And now we are, oh, my goodness.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, speaking of holidays, CJD 22K. You going to Baltimore, James, even though it's a holiday? I know you were adamant about not going to cover a game if it happened on Christmas. Here we are. Thanks.
I was open. I was open to Thanksgiving, but no, not going. A bunch of reasons, but not going. Well, which really means I get to react to the game much faster. Honestly, I mean that's what that means. So I'll be here and chatting with you right here after the game, watching it right there on the TV in my office, and
chatting. Are we going live after the game?
No, not
okay.
chat.
I was gonna have you
I'm not
commit
gonna
to
go live Thanksgiving.
Oh, that would actually be. I'm not saying we do it, but that would be funny. I would have fun with that.
Yeah,
I would be like miserable, but seeing you be miserable would make it worth it.
Yeah,
You're like,
my plan is to. It depends. It depends on what happens in the game, but my plan is to certainly fly through our post game coverage. I'm not going to lie to you.
I had a good one I want to flash up. I don't want to miss out on. Man, I'm scrolling through all these ones that I had starred with all this great food. We don't need a comment. I'm just pulling them up while I'm looking for the one I'm looking for here. Yeah, turkey can't go wrong.
yeah.
I agree. It's all so good. Oh, here we go. Landon, that was it. What color Geno Stone jersey am I getting? What's the deal? He's got an interception and a sack on Lamar.
On Lamar. If he does that, I'll buy you a Geno Stone jersey.
I mean, the answer is white only because I have a black. I don't own a single white Bengals jersey. So I've like my next one was going to be like a Jamar Chase white jersey. I've got a black Burrow. I don't have many jerseys. So I think white would have been the one I would have gotten. I don't do orange. Like
I have
all
thoughts
orange.
that I'm just going to keep to myself. We'll see if he does it.
Okay.
If he does it,
We'll see if he does it. It'll be yeah.
All right. Any more?
Magic Pipe Magnificent says he has 3 Cam Taylor Britt jerseys. I don't believe him, but
He might, dude. Cam's popular. I hope get well soon, Cam. Get well soon. Sucks that he got hurt. I'm gonna redo that ad I told you about. We don't need to name the ad, but just letting you know.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that right after we hop off, just so you know.
Yeah, with that on that, I will say that I'm clearing out all my Thanksgiving stuff. There was so much of that. I did not see that coming. Yeah.
Doubt Joe and Jamar at your own risk. They're back. If you're just joining us, make sure you go back and you watch it. We did a fun episode of Enter the Jungle. We heard from Joe Burrow. We heard from Jamar Chase. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. We appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you soon. We got videos coming on Wednesday. So we'll talk to you soon.